to cry to broken someone. Still I can't let you go. Most nights I hardly sleep. Don't see what you don't need. She said you're popping me ocean, but changing the weather. I was laying back, you and me, my hands all together. It's like wishing for rain as I stand in the desert, but I'm holding you closer than most. You are my lover. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Please trust in old friends. Never counting the regrets. By the grace of God, let's do our best. New England is the leaves change. The lasting space that I'll claim. I was a boy who loved a woman like a little girl. And still I can't let you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The card I pulled this morning. I can't see it, but I can feel it. It's so easy to tell people you love them now. It's so easy that people take advantage of it. You know, reflection. Way back in the day, you know, that there used to be, and maybe this is because I grew up in a big military family, but once upon a time, it used to be if you were dating somebody in the military, you were married, had a military spouse, and your spouse went off and overseas, you would just write them letters and hope that they eventually made it to your partner. Could you imagine that? Never knowing. I mean, not only do you not know if you're ever going to see them again, but never knowing if they even are getting your letters. People talk about these things with how difficult relationships and stuff are. And it's like, the reason some of these relationships are so difficult is because it's so easy. It's so easy to stay in constant contact that you take advantage of it. I don't know. I'm a blank slate today, y'all. I got the Zen Men this afternoon. I am fully booked up. Worked yesterday morning. We went and did some jobs at Rob. And now I got today at Zen Men. And then I think Sunday we got some other gigs going on. Man, it's been busy. Busy. Get an energy read for today, though, huh? See what's going on. I would say I like the fact that me and a handful of my friends still do. And granted, maybe we'll write one letter a year, but we still write and send gifts to each other. And I think what's funny is the friends that I do that with also grew up in military housing with military parents. Where care packages were something you did. You know, even when I was 19, 20, when I dated the Marine that sent me this robe from Japan. Yeah, that year we made
care packages and sent them to them. We've always done that. Always done that. My house has always been open to military people. When we were younger, we were the ones that would do the Friendsgiving if we didn't live close to family, where we would invite anybody who didn't have any place else to go for Thanksgiving that were military friends, because we always lived near military housing. They could come to our house. You know, hey, how the world has changed. All right, on the 3D. I see a good bit. So usually I use this card as a coming into power, but the way it is on the front and then her right after it, it's almost like you feel like you're needing to defend yourself against some dark energies that might be being casted at you. Something I feel that you're worried is causing effect to your finances. Now, do you feel cursed? Is that what's happening here? You feel like someone's manifesting that on you? Sorry, it's a little chilly. I'll put my blanket over my legs. Right? I think you're getting over the idea that this person has that kind of power over you. I think you're realizing that it's almost a mental prison of your own, and you're getting ready to really break out of that. Look, curses only work if you allow them to. And I know people are like, oh, dude, I've been getting into this tiff with witches for years. You know, there's always we don't believe in the threefold. You can hex as much as you want to, and nothing will ever happen to you. My hexes work so great, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, anybody who's hexing someone that they know personally, one, they're probably a really shitty person already if they're hexing people, right? If your bread and butter and magic is manifesting negative energy, other people who deal in energy can feel that coming off of you. It's almost like a stink, right? So if you're feeling like someone's cursing you, the only way for the curse to affect you is to accept that you've done something. Guilt is the only way curses work. Curses only work if you feel on some level some iota of guilt, right? And you're like, oh, no, I'm not guilty. You're fighting with that person. You guys are both playing the villain and the hero role, and it's going back and forth and da-da-da-da. And you realize that is your own mental prison. You're engaging in that energy game with that person, and if you want to get through it, just punch through. Stop playing. That game ends as soon as you stop playing it. All right, on the 4D, focus your words and your thoughts in directions that you want to go in. Not on people cursing or hexing you, not on people who are casting negative energy on you, not on people who are taking advantage of you, on where you're going and what you're doing with your life. I still see there's an internal choice that is not being made. I think it has a lot to do on exactly how many lines you can cut. Mainly because you got the Hierophant here also in the middle. And then you got this worry about money card again. And then you got the Eight of Rods. So I see a lot of this just being afraid to make a decision, and you're not trusting your intuition because your intuition is probably saying, oh, you need to move on from these connections. But you're like, if I do, these people help me with money. I'm telling you, that financial burden thing is a huge, huge wedge in a lot of relationships. When you are financially dependent on your partner for survival, that can plant some very toxic seeds, which is why I always try to tell people that you want to be as financially independent as possible. Or be mindful in your relationship with how controlling the other person is with money as to how much control you actually have, because they could be using money to control you as well. They'll talk you into spending your savings on them and things like that to ensure that you can't escape. 5D telling you there is a very toxic connection going on. So, I'm kind of seeing this as a toxic connection, which is like an obsessive connection, because you get the Ace of Wands here with the third eye. It's like I can't help but continuously see this connection, and it's killing me because it's like I know I can't do nothing with it. I know you know that the connection is weird. You know that you shouldn't be thinking about this person that much. You know you shouldn't be obsessively stalking them. You know you shouldn't be doing all these things, yet it's almost as bad as any other drug addiction or anything else you've had in your life, or those years in your 20s where you were drinking all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you realize after a while, you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Similar thing. It's just a passion, third eye. You just can't help but keep seeing it. But you know that it's kind of tearing your heart apart. And you know it's going to cause a tower if you don't figure out something. But also here at the end, there's messages of love that want to come back and forth. So isn't it just the same old story over and over again? And what's funny is I just did that whole thing. It is so easy. It is so easy to just reach out and tell people what you think and how you feel and really figure it out. And you know what's really funny is you're doing all this, right? And you're going through this because you're afraid of this. When all you have to do is do this, and you got your truce. If it's a love connection or whatever it is, whatever the connection is, as long as it's not toxic, right? I guess everybody's worried everything's going to be toxic. What? You're going to message them and then they're going to lose their shit and ruin your life? If they can, how stable was your life to begin with, right? You got blinded to the pain. Don't be blinded to those who are feeding off you. This is a time of a lot of reflection, especially with that full moon today. Got the full moon video and all that on the Silver Cord page, Celeste Silver Cord YouTube channel. So go check those out if you haven't seen them yet. But do not blind yourself. 13 is a big message that's in there too for the divine feminine messages coming in of what are you nurturing and what are people just feeding off you. That is cuts and flies, not jewelry. She's blinded and hiding herself from the fact that these people are just taking and taking and taking advantage of them and bleeding her energy dry. All right. It's time to do some deep reflecting on how you got yourself into those kind of situations and take accountability for them, But everybody made the decisions that they made to put themselves into the roles that they are in right now. If you are not happy or you are unsatisfied with your experience, it's your job to change the mindset to it, right? No one told you, or maybe someone did tell you that you had to do this, that this is what makes you a good person. What? Love is not about how much you can suffer for the other person. That is a very toxic program that a lot of people need to learn how to break, right? Love is not about pain. And a lot of people think it is, especially women, as far as I can tell, right? It's like, I guess guys do it too. What? It's like she keeps cheating on you, but you keep forgiving her because she's so wonderful in all these other areas. And, blah, 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 blah. And me sticking with her and forgiving her means I love her more than anything. And if I just forgive her enough, then, she'll really see that I'm the one and I'm the one that truly, truly loves her and she'll stop. No, they don't. That's not how that works. You're with a female with an abusive man. oh, he's sorry. He really does love me. He's not going to do it again. But yes, he will. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. You're blinding yourself if you think they're not. You know, there's certain lines and boundaries that once crossed, they are almost 100% guaranteed to be crossed again. You know, and I mean, this can go for other things too as well. Just anybody who's taking advantage of you on a regular basis. What, this person is constantly asking you for money. This person's constantly asking you to drive them everywhere. This person's constantly asking you to do it. If they're asking you to do stuff and it's becoming a detriment to you, cutting into your day, ruining your routines, ruining your plans, keeping you from becoming successful, understand that that is a parasitic connection. They're not giving their fair share. Stop blindfolding yourself to it. Spirit, heavenly assistant from your guides and angels. All right, keep an eye on the moon today, guys. We are being guided, right? You are being watched over. Your guides have not forgotten you or abandoned you. They are still there. But a lot of times, and I don't know why I just thought of this, but it's like when you're on your spiritual journey, it's almost like those Native American traditions when you hit a certain age where they take you out into the woods. And they take you all the way out into the woods and they leave you out there. And they take you about a week out. And then you have to find your way home on your own. Well, your spirit guides will do that to you too. What? They've led you all the way out there so that you can rediscover yourself. And now it's up to you to find your way home. Now, do you really think those parents just abandoned their kids out in the woods? No, they were probably watching them the whole time anyway. And I'm sure if they didn't come back within a reasonable amount of time, they would go look for them, you know. But they're assuming if your guides are feeling like they can let you learn things on your own now, that means they are confident that you have learned enough to make the right decisions now. So there's a lot of self-accountability going on right now. And it's a lot of hard things for people to face. What? The universe isn't punishing you. It never has. That's not how it works. You know, she ain't about punishing nobody. But just like any other nurturing force that wants you to grow, it can't coddle you all the time, right? So it's time to take some self-accountability. And yeah. Reach out to your obsession. That's what I keep telling people. Because usually once you actually start talking to them, you'll get over it. Trust me, I know that because I get stalkers that have followed me for years, and then they'll start talking to me. And then after a while, it doesn't take very long for them to realize that I'm not fucking glowing with wings and having rainbows shooting out of my ass all the time, and I'm a normal person. They get all jaded, and then they get over it, and then they move on with their lives, you know. And they even tell that to celebrities. There's certain people out there, they're like, they're stalkers, you know, and they're like, well, they're stalkers, but they know the laws, so they never push it too far. And they're like, if you really want them to stop, talk to them. If you have a stalker, try talking to them. You'd be surprised. What? The thrill of you talking to them will overshadow the stalking. And then once you do that, you break the illusion gets broken. It's how you shatter the illusion. All right. That's the message coming in this morning. I don't know, weird guys. I love y'all. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and windy paths with me. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow.